Yeah, I mean, I won't lie. It's getting harder. It's getting harder. It's getting tougher. Every day gets tougher. But that's
For decades, Michael J. Fox was the face of optimism. He made us laugh. He made us believe that anything was possible. And with one unforgettable role, he became one of the biggest stars on the planet. But behind that famous smile, Michael was carrying a secret that no one could see. A secret that would change his life forever. Imagine reaching the absolute peak of your career. Every dream you've ever chased has finally come true. You're starring in blockbuster movies, winning awards, building a beautiful family, and the entire world believes your future has no limits. Then, one ordinary morning, you notice something strange. Your little finger won't stop moving. At first, you ignore it. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you've been working too much. But deep inside, you know something isn't right. Just a short time later, doctors deliver words that number 29-year-old ever expects to hear. You have Parkinson's disease, a progressive neurological disorder, one with no known cure. The doctors tell him something even more devastating. They estimate he may only have about 10 years before his symptoms become severely disabling. Michael is stunned. How could this happen? He was still young, healthy, at the very height of Hollywood success. His career had only just begun. And suddenly, everything felt uncertain. Today, we're looking back at the extraordinary life of Michael J. Fox, the incredible rise that made him a Hollywood legend, the heartbreaking diagnosis that nearly destroyed his hope, and the remarkable courage that has inspired millions of people around the world. Because this isn't just the story of an actor, it's the story of resilience, of family, of refusing to let one diagnosis define an entire life. Michael Andrew Fox was born on June 9th, 1961, in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. His father served in the Canadian Armed Forces. Because of that, the family moved frequently during Michael's childhood. New schools, new friends, new beginnings, again and again. It wasn't always easy. Michael was also much smaller than many boys his age. People often underestimated him, but he discovered something important very early in life. He could make people laugh. Humor became his confidence. While others noticed his size, they quickly forgot about it once he started performing. By the age of 15, Michael had already decided what he wanted. He wanted to become an actor. It was an enormous risk. There were no guarantees. Very few Canadian teenagers packed their bags and chased Hollywood dreams. But Michael believed he had to try. With the support of his family, he left Canada for Los Angeles. The beginning wasn't glamorous. Tiny apartments, constant auditions, countless rejections. Money was scarce. There were moments when success felt impossible. Still, Michael refused to give up. Slowly, small television roles began appearing. Casting directors immediately noticed something unique. He possessed incredible energy, natural comic timing, and a charm that made audiences instantly like him. That combination would soon change his life forever. In 1982, he was cast as Alex P. Keaton in the sitcom Family Ties. Originally, Alex wasn't supposed to become the show's biggest character, but viewers loved Michael almost immediately. His quick wit, perfect timing, and unforgettable personality transformed him into the breakout star. The ratings exploded. Awards followed. Hollywood finally realized it had discovered something special. Then, just 3 years later, another opportunity arrived, one that nearly went to someone else. A young director named Robert Zemeckis believed Michael was perfect for a new science fiction adventure called Back to the Future. There was only one problem. Michael was already committed to Family Ties. For weeks, he lived an almost impossible schedule, filming television during the day, movies throughout the night, sometimes sleeping only a few hours before starting all over again. It was exhausting, but the sacrifice changed cinema forever. Released in 1985, Back to the Future became a global phenomenon. Marty McFly instantly became one of the most beloved movie characters ever created. The film earned hundreds of millions of dollars. Sequels followed. Worldwide fame followed. By the late 1980s, Michael J. Fox had achieved what every actor dreams of: He had money, success, a beautiful marriage to actress Tracy Pollan, and millions of fans who adored him. From the outside, his life appeared perfect. But while the world celebrated his success, something terrifying had already begun happening inside his own body. A battle he would hide from everyone for years, and that secret would become the greatest challenge of his entire life. By the late 1980s, Michael J. Fox had become one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. Every studio wanted him. Every interview celebrated him. His future seemed limitless. But behind every smile, he was living with a terrifying secret. After receiving his Parkinson's diagnosis at just 29 years old, Michael made a decision that would define the next several years of his life. He told almost no one, not his fans, not the public, and only a small circle of family members and trusted friends. Every morning, he woke up wondering if his symptoms would be worse than the day before. Sometimes, his hands trembled. Sometimes, his body became stiff. Sometimes, simple movements that most people never think about suddenly became difficult. Yet when the cameras started rolling, he smiled. He delivered his lines. And he convinced millions of viewers that everything was perfectly fine. It was exhausting, not just physically, but emotionally. Michael later admitted that he struggled to accept what was happening. He asked himself the same question countless people ask after receiving life-changing news. Why me? At first, he tried to escape reality. He has spoken openly about turning to alcohol during those difficult years. The fear became overwhelming. Every new symptom reminded him that Parkinson's wasn't going away. The doctors had warned him that his condition would gradually progress. He couldn't stop thinking about the future. Would he still be able to act? Would he be able to raise his children? Would people remember him only for his illness instead of his work? Those thoughts followed him everywhere. Thankfully, he wasn't facing them alone. One person refused to let him give up. His wife, Tracy Pollan. The couple had married in 1988, just a few years before his diagnosis. When Michael finally shared the devastating news with her, everything could have changed. Instead, their relationship became even stronger. Tracy never treated Michael as someone who needed pity. She treated him as the same man she had always loved. That quiet strength gave Michael something he desperately needed: hope. Looking back years later, Michael has often said he doesn't know how he would have survived without her. Her belief in him became stronger than his fear. Even while living with Parkinson's, Michael refused to stop working. He continued starring in successful films including Doc Hollywood, The American President, and Mars Attacks. He also returned to television, determined to prove that his illness would not define his talent. Many people watching those performances had absolutely no idea what he was going through. Behind the scenes, filming became increasingly difficult. He carefully hid the trembling in one hand by placing it inside a pocket. He held objects whenever possible. He adjusted his movements so cameras wouldn't capture the symptoms. Every scene required planning. Every day required enormous determination. For nearly 7 years, Michael carried this burden in silence. Finally, in 1998, he made one of the bravest decisions of his life. He told the world. The announcement shocked millions. Fans couldn't believe it. How could someone who always looked so energetic be battling Parkinson's all along? Instead of asking for sympathy, Michael asked for understanding. He refused to disappear. He refused to let fear win. Soon after, he created the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. His mission was simple. If scientists could move research forward, future families might not have to experience the same uncertainty he faced. What began as one man's determination soon became the world's largest nonprofit organization dedicated to Parkinson's research. Over the years, the foundation has raised more than $2 billion to support scientific breakthroughs and improve treatments. Doctors and researchers around the world credit the organization with accelerating progress in ways few thought possible. Michael had transformed his greatest personal tragedy into hope for millions of others. As his symptoms gradually became more noticeable, he made another difficult decision. He stepped away from full-time acting. It wasn't because he had lost his passion. It was because he wanted to spend more time with his family, focus on his health, and dedicate himself to finding a cure. Many fans feared they would never see him on screen again. But Michael wasn't ready to say goodbye. His greatest role was no longer playing Marty McFly. It was becoming a symbol of courage, a role far more important than any Hollywood script could ever offer. By the early 2000s, Michael J. Fox had accepted something that once terrified him. Parkinson's disease wasn't going away, but neither was he. Instead of allowing the illness to define his life, he made a remarkable decision. If he couldn't control the disease, he would control how he responded to it. That decision changed everything. While many people expected Michael to quietly disappear from public life, he did exactly the opposite. He became the world's most recognizable advocate for Parkinson's research. The Michael J. Fox Foundation quickly grew into something far greater than anyone imagined. Scientists, doctors, researchers, patients, families, they all united behind one mission: finding better treatments, and one day, a cure. Over the years, the foundation has funded groundbreaking research across the world. Billions of dollars have been raised to accelerate scientific discoveries and improve the lives of people living with Parkinson's. For many families, Michael became more than an actor. He became hope. Even though his symptoms continued to progress, his determination never faded. There were difficult days, days when standing became harder, days when balance became a challenge. Michael has spoken honestly about breaking bones after unexpected falls. He has admitted that Parkinson's becomes more difficult with time. Yet, every interview carried the same message. He refused to let people feel sorry for him. Instead, he wanted people to appreciate life. One of the greatest reasons he has remained so strong is his family. His wife, Tracy Pollan, never left his side. For more than 3 decades, their marriage has become one of Hollywood's most admired love stories. Together, they raised 4 children, faced enormous challenges, and proved that true partnership isn't tested during success. It's tested during hardship. Michael often says Tracy gave him something medicine never could: the confidence to keep moving forward. As the years passed, Hollywood never forgot him. He made memorable guest appearances in television series like The Good Wife, earning widespread praise for his performances. His autobiography became a bestseller. He continued giving speeches, appearing at charity events, and inspiring millions through his honesty. Then, in 2023, Michael received an Academy Honorary Award recognizing not only his extraordinary career, but also his tireless humanitarian work. The standing ovation lasted for several minutes. It wasn't simply applause for an actor. It was respect for a man who had shown the world what courage truly looks like. Today, Michael J. Fox is no longer defined by Back to the Future alone. Of course, Marty McFly will always remain one of cinema's most beloved characters. But his greatest legacy isn't found on a movie screen. It's found in every family that has gained hope because of his foundation. Every patient who believes tomorrow could bring better treatment. Every person who has learned that strength isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to keep going despite it. Looking back, it's almost impossible to imagine what Michael must have felt at just 29 years old. A young husband, a rising Hollywood superstar, hearing words that would change the course of his life forever. Many people would have given up. Many would have disappeared from public life. Michael J. Fox chose a different path. He chose courage. He chose honesty. He chose hope. And in doing so, he inspired millions of people he would never even meet. Perhaps that's why, when people talk about Michael J. Fox today, they rarely begin with Parkinson's disease. They begin with his smile, his optimism, his resilience. Because despite everything he has endured, he continues reminding the world that happiness isn't the absence of struggle. It's the decision to keep living with gratitude anyway. The heartbreaking truth about Michael J. Fox isn't simply that he was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the height of his career. It's that he transformed one of life's greatest tragedies into one of the greatest stories of courage Hollywood has ever witnessed. Some actors leave behind unforgettable movies. Some leave behind awards. Michael J. Fox leaves behind something even greater. Hope. And perhaps that will always be his most extraordinary performance. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. What is your favorite Michael J. Fox movie or memory? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.